A pleasant morning to you all. All our dreams and goals are within our reach. All we have to do is keep moving towards them. With this positive quote, we warmly welcome you all to the 10th December episode of Civilspedia's Daily Current Affairs Analysis brought to you by ShankarIASAcademy. Hope you are all the subscribers of ShankarIASAcademy YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for receiving on-time notification. There is a small and important announcement from the ShankarIASAcademy. The UPSC pre-storming prelims test series is about to start from 14th December and it will be the batch 4 of this test series, and it is an weekend batch, and it is also available in both online and offline mode of all the ShankarIASAcademy branches. And please register yourself using the QR code given below or using the registration link which is available in our website, and grab the opportunity to crack the UPSC prelims of 2026. And here are the list of topics taken for today's discussion. And the first topic is about the DHRUVA Framework, which is associated with the postal network. And the second topic is about the International Big Cat Alliance, which is also about the global big cat conservation. And the third topic is about the Hindu rate of growth mentioned by our Prime Minister recently. And the fourth topic is India-USA trade deal, which is about to get negotiated. And the fifth topic is about the Prelims Focus, where we discuss important current affairs relevant for our UPSC prelims. In this fast-moving urbanizing world, it is difficult to trace out a location or to find out an address, and delivering something manually is a tedious task. To address this and to smoothen this effort, India Post has proposed a framework known as DHRUVA. So with this news article from The Hindu, let's get to know more about this framework and about its functioning in detail. So what is this framework is of? It is a digital hub for reference and unique virtual address. So it enables the user to get an unique virtual address to get the service delivered at their doorsteps, and it was proposed by the departments of Post under the Ministry of Communications, and it is also envisioned as a digital public infrastructure like the already established public infrastructures like Aadhaar and Unified Payment Interface, and it also enabled through the draft amendment to the Post Office Act of 2023. And the primary objective of introducing this framework is to have a standardized, shareable, digitally verifiable address system for the users, and also improving the efficiency of governance, logistics and service delivery mechanisms. And before getting to know about the DHRUVA framework in detail, we also have to note about the DIGIPIN, which is very important for our understanding, and it is also very important for our UPSC prelims. So what is this DIGIPIN is of? It is the core technology on which the DHRUVA framework will be enabled, and this DIGIPIN is a 10-digit alphanumeric location based pin which is developed by the India Post itself in the house, and it categorizes each 12 square meter block in India gets a unique code for its identification based on the geographical coordinates. So for a better understanding, let's move to this picture, which is the outline of the Indian geography, and for pinning the location digitally, it categorizes each 12 square meters block in India into a separate block to get a unique code using the geographical coordinates by intersecting or pinning the location with the intersection of both longitude as well as latitude. So this block of 12 square meters will get an unique code. By this method only, it will enable the DIGIPIN for that location. So it will be very easy for locating a certain location by using the coordinates as well as the DIGIPIN itself, and it will be very useful for the areas such as rural areas which got isolated from the urban centers, and which may not be available with the specified local address, and it will also used for the places lacking formal descriptive addresses for that certain location. And it also this DIGIPIN works as a backup to the traditional pin codes, and it is not seen as an alternative to the conventional pin code. So it is to be noted here that it will be very important for our UPSC prelims. It is treated only as a backup to the traditional pin codes and not as an alternative. And how this DHRUVA framework works, it uses the ecosystem architecture and enables the user to get an virtual address labels like the email IDs that we are using. Like Amit at Dhruv is a classic example for such digital labels which enable the user to get the address digitally, and it also envisions stakeholders such as address service providers who enables to generate labels, virtual address labels, and address validation agencies who oversees the authentication process of this digitally generated virtual addresses, and this address information agents who manages and oversees the progress of these two bodies, and manages the user consent with respect to the usage of the digital address, and the governing entity who oversees all the functioning of the progress of this organization as a whole, which is having a similar role to the National Payments Corporation of India in the Unified Payment Infrastructure interface infrastructure. And this platform has been used widely, which has the various scope of using it in India Post, e-commerce platforms such as Amazon, Flipkarts, and logistic platforms, and cab aggregators and other gig economy platforms such as Swiggy, Zomato can be also use this platform or this virtual address to get the item delivered to their user's address itself. And what are the use case of this DHRUVA platform? It is a consent based address sharing platform. Only on the consent of the user, the address will be shared to the agents or the platform users, and users are decide who can access their addresses for, and how long they can access their virtual address. And there is a process of address tokenization, which is similar to how the unified payment interface tokenizes the bank accounts. Instead of using the or memorizing the total number of bank accounts, it will enable the user to get an easy identification ID, so that it will be easy for the users to get used to the services. And it also enables the seamless address updating, which automatically shifts all deliveries when the users change their residence. And it also lead to the service discovery for the user on the from the place itself. It shows that what services are available at a location can be easily accessed by the user. And what are the benefits of establishing this DHRUVA framework? It enables the faster delivery of products and services, and reduces the address errors made out because of the wrong mention of address, and it also enhanced the privacy control over the usage of addresses. And coming to the prelims practice question, and the question is: consider the following statement regarding DHRUVA framework. The first statement: DHRUVA allows user to share a virtual address linked with both descriptive address and geo-coded DIGIPIN through a consent-based mechanism. Statement 2: DIGIPIN is a 10-digit alphanumeric open source geospatial code developed by the Survey of India. Which of the above statement is correct? Option A 1 only, option B 2 only, option C both 1 and 2, option D neither 1 nor 2. And the first statement was correct, because this framework allows user to have a virtual address linked with both descriptive address and geospatial code through the DIGIPIN, and it is a worked on consent based mechanism. So the first statement was correct. It has to be noted here that it will be linked with both virtual address of both descriptive address and geo-coded DIGIPIN. And the second statement was incorrect, because DIGIPIN is a 10-digit alphanumeric open source geospatial code, but it is not developed by the Survey of India. It is developed by the India Post in-house. So the second statement was incorrect, and the answer for this question will be option A 1 only. Let's check. Yes. With this, we move to the next topic. Recently, a high-level interaction meeting has been conducted and chaired by our Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change with the Big Cat range countries. With this news background from the Press Information Bureau, let's discuss in detail about the International Big Cat Alliance and the Global Big Cat Conservation in detail. So why it is in news? Our Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has recently chaired a high-level interaction meeting with the Big Cat range countries in New Delhi, and the meeting was held under the framework International Big Cat Alliance, and India will about to host the Global Big Cat Summit in the year of 2026, and all the Big Cat range countries were invited to participate and to join in this International Big Cat Alliance. And what is this International Big Cat Alliances of? It has been launched by India in the year of 2023, and this alliance was established under the vision of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and the nature of this alliance will be the partnership driven global conservation alliance with respect to the conservation of this big cat species, and it got its secretariat and headquartered in New Delhi, which got into operational in the year of 2025. And the primary purpose of this alliance is to protect the 7 big cat species which got enlisted under this alliance and also their habitats. So this will be very important. And who are all the member countries? It has 18 full-time full members and also the 3 observer members. And what are the key focus area with respect to this alliance? It ensures the knowledge sharing between the big cat range countries and also the habitat restoration progress and the anti-poaching cooperation between the big cat range countries, and also the climate resilient ecosystem protection with respect to this conservation of this big cat species, and also the capacity building measures with respect to its conservation. And what are the 7 big cat species which got enlisted under this International Big Cat Alliance? Are the tiger, lion, leopard, snow leopard, cheetah, jaguar, and puma. So we need to be very clear about the 7 big cat species with respect to the International Big Cat Alliance. So because it can be probably asked in our UPSC prelims, so which of the following big cat species got enlisted under the International Big Cats Alliance? So please note that. And with respect to this scientific name or the binomial name, we need to be very clear that only 5 big cat species will comes under the Panthera classification, and the cheetah and the puma will be under various binomial name. It is different from other big cat species, so please note that. And what are the ecological role played by this big cat species? They are all considered as an apex predators, and they are all on the top of the food chain and maintain a trophic balance on the trophic level it has, and it also acts as a sentinel of ecosystem health. So it will be a primary indicator of the ecosystem's health and ecosystem's behavior. And with respect to the big cat range countries, with respect to the tiger range countries, it has 13 countries such as India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, China, and Russia. So these are all the 13 tiger range countries. And with respect to the lion range countries, it is only restricted to Asia and Africa. So please be clear of that. And with respect to the Asia, it is India. It is restricted only to the parts of India, and only wild Asiatic lions are present in the Asian region. And with respect to the India's Gir forest. And with respect to the Africa, Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, etc. will be the lion habitat, or the population of this lion will be distributed across these regions of Africa. And with respect to the snow leopards, it has 12 range countries. It is India, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Mongolia, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. So these are all the snow leopard range countries, and it is 12 range countries of snow leopard. So kindly note this region. It will be very helpful for our UPSC prelims. So there may be probably asking questions related to the habitat distribution of this species too. And with respect to the jaguar and puma, it got found in the Central and Southern American region. And what are the key countries of this habitat distribution of jaguar and puma are Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, Peru, and Colombia. And with respect to the cheetah, it is native to Africa and got reintroduced into India, specifically to the Kuno Palpur National Park in the region of in the year of 2022 onwards. And it can be also found in the some parts of Iran too. And what are the key outcome of the 2025 high-level meeting conducted by our Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change? And under the International Big Cat Alliance, it has been described as an trust-based alliance and also the mutually respect between the big cat range countries will driven the big cat alliance into an conservation cooperation platform, and it has the shared responsibility. It also been seen as an shared responsibility platform which emphasizes on habitat improvement of the big cat species and the transboundary conservation and anti-poaching cooperation and the climate resilient mechanism that has to be integrated across the globe to conserve the big cat species. And India has formally extended its invitation to all the big cat range countries, all the range countries to join the International Big Cat Alliance as well as to get participated in the Global Big Cat Summit of 2026, which is about to be hosted by India. And coming to the prelims practice question with reference to International Big Cat Alliance, consider the following statement. And the first statement, IBCA is a global alliance initiated by India for the conservation of 7 species of big cats and their habitats. And the second statement, the Secretariat of IBCA is located in Geneva under the United Nations Environment Program. Which of the above statements are correct? Options are 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, and neither 1 nor 2. And with respect to the first statement, it was correct because it is a global alliance initiated by the India, and under the vision it got established was our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and it is for the conservation of 7 big cat species which got enlisted under this International Big Cat Alliance along with their habitat. So this will be very important. And the second statement was incorrect because it has its secretariat at New Delhi, not at Geneva, and it is not under the framework of United Nations Environment Program. So the second statement will be incorrect and the first statement was correct, and the answer for this question will be 1 only, option A. Yes. With this, we move to the next topic. In his recent speech, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has passed a remark over the expression of Hindu rate of growth, which reflected a colonial mindset that linked India's slow economic performance in earlier decades to the faith and identity of its people. So with this news article from the Indian Express, let's get to know more about the Hindu rate of growth in detail. So what is this Hindu rate of growth is of? It is the term refers to the India's long-term average GDP growth rate of about 3 to 3.5% between the years of 1950s to the late 1970s, and the term was coined by economist Raj Krishna in the year of 1982, and it was used as a polemical economic expression to highlight India's persistently low growth despite of political and policy changes in the Indian economy itself. And with respect to its meaning and interpretation, it is not of religious origin. The term did not originally carry a religious meaning for it itself. The economist Raj Krishna has expressed or used the word Hindu to suggest that low growth had become a structural and culturally embedded in the policy framework of the India's environment itself, and it also reflects the India's heavy state control over various other issues and the license permit quota system which existed on that time, and the import substitution and lower productivity associated with the economic growth, and also the capital scarcity which is existed at that time. And recently our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has criticized the term as a product of colonial mindset that stereotyped Indian civilization as unproductive. So what is India's actual growth performance at that time? We have to compare that at the colonial period between 1900s to the 1946, that is before independence, the GDP growth was only at 0.9%, which is very low, and the per capita income growth was associated with 0.1%, which is also significantly low with related to the British administration. And coming to the Nehruvian era, between the 1951 to 1964, it made out a significant progress, and the GDP growth was around 4.1%, which is a significant growth from 0.9% to 4.1%, and the per capita growth was around 1.9%, which is associated with the population of India at that time. And with respect to the comparing to the other nations, China will be around 2.9%, UK is around 1.9%, and Japan is around 2.8%, which is very comparatively very low with respect to the GDP growth of India at the Nehruvian era, which is also a progressive state at that time, which shows that India did not get stagnated after independence. And what are the population growth distortion associated with this growth rate? The population growth rose from 0.8% during the colonial period to the 2% in the Nehruvian era, which also significantly made the per capita growth in the Indian economy, and this has reduced the per capita income growth artificially. And if population growth has remained very low, India's per capita growth would have exceeded 3%. So it suggests that if the population growth was remained a low factor, India's per capita growth would have crossed the 3% during the Nehruvian era. But it was on par with the population growth, so it was made out to a significant comparative number, and this is why where per capita comparisons made India appear weaker. And when did India break out the Hindu rate of growth, which is in the long term run, the growth rate will significantly got reduced. Between the year of 1956 to 1975, the average GDP growth will be 3.4%, which matches with the Hindu rate of growth. And between the years of 1981 to 1991, the average GDP growth was 5.8%, which breaks out the GDP growth at the Hindu rate of growth of 3.4%. And between the 1976 to 2006 period, the GDP growth was crossed 5.6%. And according to the Baldev Raj Nair, according to the article published in the Economic and Political Weekly of 2006, India has surpassed the Hindu rate of growth in the 1980s itself, because it crossed the GDP growth with on par with the Hindu rate of growth in the 1981 to 1991 itself. So it has crossed the or surpassed the Hindu rate in the 1980s before the introduction of 1991 reforms. And what are the role of yearly industrialization, which made out to the surpassing of this Hindu rate of growth? By the year of 1982, Raj Krishna himself acknowledged that India has built around various infrastructures such as metallurgy, power sector, heavy engineering, chemicals, and transport infrastructure, which made the economy into a progressive state. These form the industrial base for the future acceleration. And what are the key economists suggest over the growth turnaround with respect to the Indian economy apart from the Hindu rate of growth? The Baldev Raj Nair expressed that the growth acceleration began in the 1970s to 1980s itself, and according to the Arvind Veermani and Arvind Panagaria, who is also the former CEO of Niti Aayog, suggests that the turnaround began in the 1980s itself, and it is also linked to the measures taken during the post-emergency reforms by the former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, and the technology and telecom push made out by the former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, which makes the economy to surpass the Hindu rate of growth at that time, and hence 1991 liberalization does not accelerated the growth but initiated the growth of India's economy to surpass this Hindu rate of growth. And moving to the prelims practice question, consider the following statement. The first statement: the term Hindu rate of growth was coined by economist Raj Krishna to describe India's long-term GDP growth of about 3 to 3.5%. And the second statement: India first crossed this growth rate only after 1991 economic liberalization reforms. Which of the above statements are correct? Option A 1 only, option B 2 only, option C both 1 and 2, option D neither 1 nor 2. And by the earlier discussion, we can easily eliminate the second statement as incorrect, because India does not surpass the Hindu rate of growth only after the introduction of 1981 economic reforms. It surpassed well before the introduction of this reform. So the second statement was correct, and India has surpassed the Hindu rate of growth before 1970s to between 1980s to 1981. That is well before 1975. And the first statement was correct. So the answer for this question will be 1 only. Let's check. Yes. With this, we move to the next topic. Amid row of tariffs imposed over the India by the US, this India-US trade deal will be seen as a significant ray of hope to amicably settle this issue. With this news article from the Indian Express, let's get to know more about the India-US trade deal, which is about to get negotiated in detail. So, with respect to the trade dynamics and the tariff imposed over the India, it causes the USA to impose a steep 50% tariff on the India from the August 27, which causes the decline in the export, especially in the labor-intensive sectors like garments, footwears, and sports goods are worst affected industries, which creating also the disruption over the investment uncertainty over the Indian economy. And India's goods trade surplus with the US has nearly reached half from the 3.17 billion in the April to the 1.45 billion in the October due to the falling exports and rising imports from the US. And with respect to the India strategies shift to mitigate this tariff which got implemented or imposed by the USA over India, India has made out to appease the USA with related to the energy imports. India has stepped up and energy purchase from the US. The USA share in the India's oil import has surged to the level of 7.48 percentage between the April to October from the earlier time of 4.43 percentage during the same period of last year. And India's public sector refiners also signed a 1-year deal for US liquefied petroleum gas imports. And with respect to the nuclear sector reforms to appease the USA, India has signaled a greater openness for the cooperation by preparing to open its tightly regulated nuclear power sector to the private participation. Earlier, it was only maintained and governed by the public sector or the public entity of government of India itself, but it loosens the regulations and allows the participation of private entities to get participated and regulated over the nuclear power sector. And with related to the impact and the domestic reforms taken by the India for appeasing to strike a balance with related to the India's economy to get maintain over the sustainable development, the capital flow has been strained because of the tariff imposed by the US. The trade uncertainty has stalled the foreign direct investment as well as the foreign portfolio investment, and also leads to the lack of debt inflows, contributing to nearly 7% weakening of the rupee over the past year. And with related to the domestic policy reforms taken by India in response to the tariff imposed by the USA, India has rolled back many quality control measures or quality control operations, which removed the 11% duty on cotton and notified the long pending labor code to boost the industrial competitiveness and also to get the economy back to the farm. And with related to the trade diversification, India is fast tracking the trade engagement with major partners including the European Union, New Zealand, Israel, Chile, Peru, and the Russia-led Eurasian Economic Union to make the balance in the economics export and import. Moving to the mains practice question, the prolonged uncertainty over the India-US trade agreement highlights the intersection of trade policy, geopolitics, and domestic reforms. Examine. And this is a 15 mark question. We need to get answered within the 250 word limits. So please take this question and post your answers in the comment section itself. We will evaluate and give the feedback in the comment section. So with this, we move to the next topic. And coming to the Prelims Focus, and the first topic is about the Navy Day celebration of 2025. It has been celebrated with a spectacular operational demonstration at Shangumugam Beach in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. And this Navy Day will be celebrated every year on 4th December, and it will be celebrated on the commemoration of the India's Operation Trident in the year of 1971, under which this Operation Trident, Indian Navy ships has sank 4 Pakistani vessels, including the PNS Khyber. And the primary aim of the celebration of this Navy Day is to recognize the achievements and the role of the Indian Navy in the Operation Trident. And what makes this celebration of the Navy Day a significant one is the Navy as a significant resolve as a preferred security partner in the Indian Ocean region, which also guided by the Mahasagar Initiative of India. And moving to the next topic is about the unified payment interface, which got its global expansion. And India is presently under talks with the approximately 8 more countries to get inclusive into the unified payment interface, including those in the East Asian region. And it has been currently accepted by 8 countries such as Bhutan, Singapore, Qatar, Mauritius, Nepal, United Arab Emirates, Sri Lanka, and France has accepted the unified payment interface of India. And what are the major advantages of India being expanding this unified payment interface? Or it will permit the unified payment interface payment system for transactions abroad, and also enhance the convenience of the stakeholders, and it fosters a digital payment ecosystem across the globe and promotes the financial inclusions globally. And it also enables the easier trade and remittances activities, and potentially reducing the transaction cost for each transaction. And moving to the next topic is about the National Mineral Development Corporation, and it is the India's largest iron ore producer, so which is very important for our UPSC prelims, and it is a key fact with related to the National Mineral Development Corporation, and it has been accorded with the Government of India public enterprise status in the year of 1958, and it has been incorporated as a public entity, and it comes under the Ministry of Steels, which also oversees the exploration of minerals such as copper, rock phosphates, limestones, magnesites, and diamonds also. So these are all very important facts with related to the National Mineral Development Corporation, and the primary objective of this corporation is to expand the operations in the area of mining and minerals, and to achieve the international standards in per capita productivity. So with related to the international standards, it has to maintain a per capita productivity is the primary objective. So this will be very important for our UPSC prelims, kindly note that. And moving to the prelims practice question, consider the following statement. Assertion NMDC, that is National Mineral Development Corporation, aims to achieve international standards in per capita productivity and cost effectiveness. And the reason, National Mineral Development Corporation focuses exclusively on iron ore production and is not involved in the exploration of other minerals. Select the correct answer using the code below. Option A, both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. B, both A and R are true, but R is the not correct explanation of A. C, A is true, but R is false. D, A is false, but R is true. And we can easily interpret that option A, that this assertion is correct because NMDC aims to achieve the international standards in per capita productivity. So the option assertion is correct, but the reason is false because it not only focuses over the exploration of iron ore production, it also deals with the exploration of other minerals too, including diamonds. So the reason is false, and the answer for this question will be option C. A is true, but R is false. Let's check. Yes. With this, we came to the conclusion of this episode. Hope you guys like the video. Please share your positive comments and suggestions in the comment section below, and share the video to your friends. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and bell icon for receiving on-time notification. Thank you for watching us. Have a great day.